Hello everyone, this is Emo Yu here. I hope all is well with you and I hope you're keeping warm this winter. Today I'm going to talk to you about a verse in the Bible. I've been reading through the Old Testament again, and there's some things that I've noticed that I had never noticed before when I read the Old Testament. So it's kind of interesting and I wanted to share with you. So today I'm going to be talking about a passage from Genesis 18, verse 9 through 15. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these verses and then discuss about it. All right, so I'm going to read Genesis 18, verse 9 through 15. Here we go. Just a little background about what's going on before the verse I'm about to read. So, in this chapter, God appears to Abraham in the form of three visitors. Abraham notices that, it is God and, is being hospitable to them, welcomes them to sit and rest and prepare his water, and he asks his wife and his servant to prepare food and meat for them to eat. So this is when the food has come out and the visitors are talking to Abraham. All right, so here we go. Verse 9. "Where is your wife Sarah?" they asked him. "There, in the tent," he said. Then one of them said, "I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son." Now Sarah was listening at the entrance to the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were already very old, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself as she thought, "After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure?" Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Will I have a child now that I am old?' Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, "I did not laugh." But he said, "Yes, you did laugh." Okay, so in this passage from verse 9 through 15, we see just this conversation going on where the Lord is talking to Abraham, like, "Where's your wife?" And Abraham's, "Oh, she's in the house," and and God gives a promise to Abraham, saying that this time next year, you and your wife will have a son. We see this a lot in the Old Testament where God will tell people what's going to happen, like prophesy. And I thought it was very interesting, Sarah's reaction to that. So God, just in everyday life, I think it still happens now. And God will tell us things in our life. This is going to happen. This. And he'll let us know. And many times, just like Sarah did, we will kind of just laugh at God. Like, "Oh, sure. Yeah, of course that's going to happen. God promises, okay, you're going to be successful. You're going to have this job like you prayed for." And they was like, "Oh, I don't know about that. There's so many better candidates for that job than me." So I think many times, like, we laugh at God because we doubt that he can make the things he promises come true. And just to put this into a bigger picture, like, can you imagine, like, laughing at the God who created, like, the whole world, who put breath into our lungs, who gives us good health and all these things, like someone so powerful, but to laugh at something they say? I just thought that was pretty interesting, like pretty bold in terms of Sarah's part. But yeah, I think in terms for me, this really, really relates to my life now. Like, God has given many, many promises to me in my life, and yet I know how powerful he is. I know that, like, what God says, what God has planned for us is the best for us and will come true. All we have to do is trust him and believe in him and not doubt him. But still, I know for me, I still doubt God in many, many things. I still have a hard time trusting God when he says he will do something in my life. And I think we need to learn something from this verse. Like God says, like, is there anything that I cannot do? And I think every day we need to constantly remind ourselves there is nothing that God cannot do. If he says this is going to happen, it is going to happen. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but as I was reading the verse, it just stuck with me, and I kept on thinking about it. I read it again and again, and I think it also shows like a gentleness of God. The fact that, he didn't just strike Sarah down, like, you laughed in my face, you're gonna die, kind of thing, which he can totally do. But he kind of just gently scolded her. Like, is there nothing, like, dude, I can do anything. Why don't you believe in me? Why don't you trust me? And I think God is just so gentle with us. Like, no matter the many, many things he does in our lives and the fruit we see from those things when they do come to fruition, we still doubt him. So he promises this. Oh, no, I don't know if God can do that. And then it happens. Oh, wow, God is so good. And then he promises something else. And even though we have seen the promise of his work come to life, we still doubt him the next time he promises something. And we will always, always do that. And I think, God is so good to us. And God is so patient with us. And it's just a great example of his grace that he has for us. So I think, even though I want to say I'm always going to trust God and not doubt him, I know there will be times in my life where I will doubt him, or where I'll feel scared and not want to trust what God has said to me. But I think God totally just pointed out this passage for me because it has a lot to do with what I'm going through now. And just as a reminder to trust him, a reminder that God can do anything. The God who made the sunshine and who gives us air to breathe and who provides food for the animals and the birds and all these crazy things that I can't even imagine. If he can do all those things, why should I doubt that he can provide for me? Why should I doubt that the promises he's made over my life, will come true? I have no reason to doubt. No reason to doubt, no reason to fear. And every reason to trust him, every reason to believe in what he says, and what he speaks over my life. So I'm not sure what you're going through in your life. I'm not sure what promises God has given to you for the year of 2013, but I do hope that you'll take time on your own to just read through the Bible, and God will encourage you through those words. Again, maybe you can read through Genesis 18 and just see what God is going to say to you through this verse. What he's saying to me could be different from what he's saying to you, but I think just overall, I just wanted to share with you that it's God gives us promises over our lives, and even if we choose to trust him or not trust him, those promises still will come true. If God has ordained it to happen, it will happen. It will just make things easier if we rely on him and trust in him to work in our lives instead of doubt that he can work in our lives. I don't know if this has been helpful at all, and I know I rambled a lot, but just wanted to share that with you. I'm hoping that as I continue to read the Bible that I can hopefully share more insights with you and things that I learned from the Bible. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to listen, and thank you for just allowing me to speak and speak and speak. And I hope that this is helpful. I pray that God's promises do come true in your life. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.